my friends! Today we will learn about dinosaur living on the land. Now listen and repeat after me. Tyrannosaurus rex. Tyrannosaurus rex. Tyrannosaurus rex. Tyrannosaurus rex. This was a giant meat-eater with huge teeth and tiny arms. It had one of the most powerful bites of any land animal ever. Triceratops. 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 This dinosaur had 3 horns on its face and a big shield of bone around its neck. It ate plants and used its horns to protect itself. Stegosaurus. 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 It had big bony plates running down its back and sharp spikes on its tail. It used its spiky tail, called a thagomizer, to defend itself. Brachiosaurus. 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 This huge dinosaur had a very long neck, like a giraffe, to reach leaves high in the trees. It was one of the tallest dinosaurs we know about. Velociraptor. 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 This speedy hunter was covered in feathers and had a large, sharp claw on each foot. It was much smaller than in the movies, about the size of a turkey. Spinosaurus. 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 This enormous meat-eater had a huge sail on its back and lived near water. Scientists think it swam well and hunted giant fish. Ankylosaurus. 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 It was like a living tank, covered in thick bony armor all over its body. It swung a heavy club on the end of its tail to whack attackers. Allosaurus. 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 This large meat-eater lived before T-Rex and had 3 sharp claws on each hand. It was a top predator that hunted other big dinosaurs. Diplodocus. 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 This dinosaur was incredibly long, with a super long neck and an even longer tail that looked like a whip. It ate plants and traveled in herds. Apatosaurus. 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 This was another giant, long-necked plant-eater, once famously known as Brontosaurus. It was so heavy that the ground might have shaken when it walked. Parasaurolophus. 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 This dinosaur had a long, hollow tube on the back of its head. It might have used this crest to make loud honking sounds. Iguanodon. 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 This plant-eater is famous for having pointy thumb spikes on its hands. It could walk on 2 legs or drop down to walk on 4. Compsognathus. 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 This was one of the smallest known dinosaurs, only about the size of a chicken. It ran fast on two legs chasing insects and lizards. Gallimimus. 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 Gallimimus, looking a bit like an ostrich, this dinosaur could run very fast on its long legs. It had a beak and likely ate plants and small creatures. Carnotaurus. 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 Carnotaurus, this unusual meat-eater had two bumpy horns above its eyes and ridiculously tiny arms. Its name means meat-eating bull. Giganotosaurus. 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 Giganotosaurus, this massive hunter from South America, was even a little bit bigger than T-Rex. It likely hunted the giant plant eaters that lived nearby. Argentinosaurus. 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 Argentinosaurus, this might be the biggest land animal ever discovered, a truly gigantic plant eater. Its bones were enormous, taller than grown-ups. Pachycephalosaurus. 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 Pachycephalosaurus, this dinosaur had an incredibly thick, bony dome on top of its head. It might have used its hard head for head-butting fights. Archaeopteryx. 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 Archaeopteryx, this amazing creature had feathers and wings like a bird, but teeth and claws like a dinosaur. It shows how birds might have evolved from dinosaurs. Baryonyx. 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 Baryonyx, this fisherman dinosaur had a huge, hooked claw on each thumb, perfect for snagging slippery fish. It had a long snout, a bit like a crocodile's. Styracosaurus. 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 Styracosaurus, related to Triceratops, this dinosaur had one big nose horn and lots of long spikes sticking out from its neck frill. It was a plant eater that lived in groups. Edmontosaurus. 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 Edmontosaurus, this large dinosaur had a flat, wide mouth like a duck's bill, filled with hundreds of teeth for grinding plants. They probably lived in big herds. Maiasaura. 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 Maiasaura, this dinosaur's name means good mother lizard. Scientists found nests showing that Maiasaura cared for its babies after they hatched. Troodon. 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 Troodon, this small, bird-like dinosaur had big eyes and a relatively large brain for its size. It was likely a smart hunter, possibly active at night. Therizinosaurus. 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 Therizinosaurus, this very strange-looking dinosaur had incredibly long claws on its hands, like giant scissors. Despite the scary claws, it probably used them to pull down leafy branches to eat. Utahraptor. 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 Utahraptor, this was a large, powerful raptor dinosaur, much bigger than Velociraptor, with huge killing claws on its feet. It was covered in feathers and was a fearsome hunter. Microraptor. 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 This tiny dinosaur was only about the size of a pigeon and had feathers on its arms and legs. It probably glided between trees like a flying squirrel. Oviraptor. 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 Its name means egg thief, but we now think it was a caring parent that guarded its own eggs. It had a beak instead of teeth and was covered in feathers. Corythosaurus. 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 This dinosaur had a tall, round crest on its head that looked like an ancient Greek helmet. Like Parasaurolophus, it probably used its crest to make sounds. Dilophosaurus. 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 This early meat-eating dinosaur had two thin, bony crests running along the top of its snout. It was famous in a movie for spitting poison, but real ones probably didn't do that. Steward. That's all for today. If you liked the video, please subscribe, like and share. Thank you and see you next time. Goodbye.